Hey guys, welcome back to the Fight or Flight course, Day 3, Video 3. Again, I am David Gorbia, the founder of Firm Foundation Marriage. And in the last two videos that we just went through, we've been cracking the code of what makes some marriages crumble and the others flourish. If you're with us on Day 3, then that means that you are looking for the magic formula that the unshakable marriages know and do, that the failing marriages do not know and do not do. Now, before moving on, I want to take a quick second and recognize you for wanting to take action towards change. You are done sitting on the sidelines, allowing your relationship to fall victim to the same cycles over and over again. You believe that if nothing changes, then nothing changes. Continuing down the same path that you're on will only lead to another failed relationship. So, let's take action. In days 1 and 2, we dove into the magic question of why. Why do 50% of marriages fail? What are those marriages doing over and over that keeps them from understanding each other, constantly disappointing each other, and growing further and further apart? What do the thriving marriages know that everyone else doesn't? So, what did we find out? Well, to keep it simple, we have no clue what we're doing when it comes to being married. We've never formally learned how we should go about living with another human being. Naturally, we are designed to be selfish. We are hardwired to think of our preferences first. Let me make this a little personal here. I love being right. I love my way of doing things. So why should I ever consider any other way? A quote that always hits home for me is, whenever two people come together, there is an opportunity for disunity. Now, compound that with the fact that today's world is designed to feed our constant need for self-satisfaction, you can see how so many couples fall victim to marriage sabotage. The unshakable couples do not just wing it. They take radical responsibility by recognizing that there is a knowledge gap, so they can take the necessary steps to gain that knowledge and close the gap. Those who thrive know that practice makes permanent. They know that good information without the necessary action is only going to be good information. The action is what makes the difference. Today, we are going to spend some time looking at effective communication and flexibility in adaptation. These are 2 of the 5 principles that we covered in video 1. Effective communication. Let's step away from marriage for a brief second and look at effective communication in the general sense. Let's take a look at your job. When we poorly communicate with coworkers, we get decreased productivity. When it comes to friends, communicating poorly with them leads to misunderstanding. When we fail to communicate with family members like siblings, cousins, parents, we see those relationships strain. It's understandable to communicate poorly with people whom we have limited interaction with. But in each of these cases, we have some sort of fail-safe process in place to help us overcome communicating poorly. Our jobs put us through trainings that help us work well and communicate better with coworkers. When siblings disagree, you can sometimes see another family member jump in to help clear up that misunderstanding. Or we fall into the default rule of time heals all wounds. After all, it's your brother or your sister, so what are you going to do? When it comes to friends, we actually find it easier to tell them the truth about how we feel. Because at the end of the day, they don't have to be your friend if they don't like the truth. When we refocus this lens and we focus in on our marriages, we still see the same outcomes when communication fails. We still have misunderstandings. We see our partners become distant and our relationships feel strained. So, what do we do? The same rules don't apply to our marriage. We already established that we're poorly prepared before we get married. I can't imagine that you would want a family member to come in and try to fix your marriage for you. And we're not just going to go out and find another spouse because, heck, that's why we're here in the first place, and that's what we're trying to avoid. The unshakable marriages embody this proverb. I will speak the truth in love to the right person at the right time in the right place, down to the last 10%. Now, I understand that this may seem pretty straightforward, but recall the previous two videos. Successful marriages go beyond superficial understanding. Couples who thrive have a deeper understanding of each other, are in control of their emotions, and comprehend what motivates their partner. This deeper level of understanding makes communicating beyond the surface more achievable for them. So let's unpack this. When we say, I will speak the truth in love, what we mean here is we will always let our spouse know how they made us feel. But we are going to do it in a way that we know they will receive. We will stay in control of our emotions by being lovingly honest to the right person. When we communicate, we lean in on that understanding of who we are and who our spouse is. We aren't addressing an enemy or someone seeking to do us harm. We are speaking with the person that we love the most in the entire universe, our best friend and our forever partner. At the right time. Some urgent situations require an immediate response, and others might require us to take some time to process all of the information so that we can be the most effective with our response. What I'm saying here is slow down and allow yourself some time to process before giving that knee-jerk response. Down to the last 10%. Being completely transparent and honest, leaving no room for secrets or hidden agendas that can later resurface to impact me or my relationship. I am fully giving 100%. The unshakable allow this to be the roadmap for effective communication in every interaction that they have. Flexibility and adaptation. Evolution is unavoidable. Since the dawn of time, the world has been in constant motion, undergoing change. This applies to us as humans as well. Not only do we learn, grow, and evolve during our adolescent years, but this process continues even after we reach full maturity. We grow to like different music. We develop different tastes in foods, different styles of clothing, but it doesn't stop there. We also shift our beliefs. The way we process things, the way we think about things, our motivations change over time. And guess what? All of this continues happening even after we say the words, I do. The individual you felt deeply in love with 12 years ago isn't going to stay the same person they were back then. While they may appear and sound the same, their mental and spiritual growth has evolved over time, and so has yours. So the big question here is, who are you married to today? Do you know who this person truly is? Do you know what they like and dislike? Do you know their needs? How about, do you know what they value? Do you know what makes your spouse tick? The unshakable marriages never get complacent. When it comes to flexibility, those that thrive never stop discovering each other. By knowing what makes your spouse tick, you can believe in only the best about their intentions. You stay fiercely loyal to each other, and you protect and defend one another at all costs. The unshakable know that complacency leads to tension. Tension leads to conflict, and most importantly, conflict leads to outgrowing each other. To keep from falling into this cycle, thriving marriages follow the flexibility model. 3 behaviors that lead to smooth transitions. The first is embrace change. Change is a natural part of life, so we must be willing to adapt to new circumstances, new roles, and new challenges. Maybe one of you gets a new promotion at work or decides to change careers altogether. Your normal day-to-day routines will most likely change, but also the roles that you fulfill for one another might change as well. Flexibility in adjusting expectations and routines will help navigate these transitions more smoothly. The second piece, practice grace. Showing empathy and understanding towards each other's perspectives and experiences. It falls on us to recognize that individuals grow and change over time. So be willing to empathize with your partner's evolving needs and their priorities. For example, maybe the new promotion or career change come with a little extra stress, causing your spouse to be short with you. Show them some grace by not being short in return and letting them know that you are there to help and support in any way possible. Number 3, have a bounce back attitude. You are not in this alone. Cultivate resilience as a couple by facing challenges together and support each other through difficult times. When a new challenge or obstacle comes up, come together and face that challenge as a team. After all, we are stronger together, and you're never in this alone. That brings us to the end of video 3, module 3, day 3. I'm so glad that you're still here. We have more for you. I'll see you one more time in the next video. Thanks.